Yo, what's up YouTube? It's your boy Bobby D, and I'm back again with another hot, juicy video. And as always, I'm joined by the Swole's hair consultant in Austin, Texas, Steve Michaels.
Thanks for having me back, Bobby.
Always, Steve. Thanks for being on my channel. And if y'all don't know, Steve has his own channel at Defeating Hair Loss, where I make an appearance all the time now.
You're my model.
So I'm here. I'm here. Whenever you need me, Steve.
Thank you.
And everyone, you know, when Steve's here, we always talk about hair. And I kind of have a story I want to relate. This actually happened to me this past weekend at the gym, Steve. Had a guy, a viewer, watched our videos, and he asked me, about my hair transplant. Asked how many, hair grafts I use for my front zone. And so I want to ask you, just in general, Steve, how many hair grafts, can you put in or how many hair grafts can you use for a hair transplant? Sorry,
no worries. Good question. Good question, Bobby. That's a very interesting question, and I know we want to be short and sweet. I can be long-winded. I apologize in advance. The thing is, and I love this stuff, and I think your hair looks fantastic.
Appreciate it.
So it really depends upon what is going on. So think about the different variables, right? Let's talk about variables. And I haven't rehearsed this. I don't have a cheat sheet. Let's see how old you are, because we got to figure out if you're going to continue to lose hair. Are you using the combination medication or not? If you're using the combination medication or not, are you goofy about it? Are you quirky about it? Are you like, oh man, I was using it, then I got off it, and I can't remember to take the pill, or I don't know, somebody at the gym told me I could have side effects. Well, then you're not really going to be a compliant patient.
That's true, yeah.
Okay, so those things alone, the age, how about family history, right? All these things roll into what the plan is going to be, okay? If you're 21 years old, you have a bald cue ball uncle on this side of the family, you have a cue ball uncle on this side of the family, you're quirky with the medication, you have thin, fine hair, the future's not bright. Things are not looking good, okay? And why I say that is because we have to take all those variables into consideration when we're deciding on how many grafts we're going to place in certain zones. Now, if you think about it this way as well, like how thick is your hair? Do you have thin, fine hair? Do you have average hair? Do you have Middle Eastern ropey horse hair? Do you have curly hair, which takes up more space? From an African descent standpoint, that's like the best hair, but it's not dense, so we get less grafts. So there's all these different variables that throw on top of kind of what I call the demographics and all that, and then there's the component part of it, which is what that is. So if we want to make it short and sweet, okay, we want to break down the scalp into 3 separate zones. We want to hit the frontal third, which is the hairline zone, the frontal third zone. We want to do the mid-scalp, which I also call the bridge. And then we want to talk about the crown, where if you're a Jewish guy or girl, that's where they put the yarmulke, right? So if we roll the dice for the best possible scenario, and you're going to get on the medication, you're going to be compliant because you've gone to a board-certified doctor that's going to do the right thing for you. We're probably going to need 2,500 grafts for the very front edge or the frontal third. Now, the crown's a bigger zone. Even though it might not be big right now, it's just harder to do because it's a helicopter view. I've done a bunch of videos on it. So we want to allow about 2,000 grafts for the crown. What about the mid-scalp? Now we have to tie it together. So we're at 2,500, we're at 2,000, that's 4,500. Let's say another 2,000 for the mid-scalp.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. So now you're at 6,500. Now if you got anything left, maybe you want to make your hairline a little thicker.
Yeah, if you have anything left.
If you have anything left, because that's the frontal zone that means the most. That's what I call the money shot. So, obviously, Bobby, the goal here is that if you catch it early enough, if we do the preventative treatments, like yourself, you're not just a model and a super good-looking guy and you got good fashion, but you're also the guy, look at him getting red, right? You're also the guy that did it right because you caught it early. You got on the preventative treatments. And then you know what? The sky's the limit for how thick we can make the hairline. So if you're like me, not like Bobby, there was no finasteride, there was no Propecia, there wasn't even really any minoxidil. I didn't know where I was going or how I was going to get there, but you just kept losing your hair. Burt Reynolds, William Shatner, Elton John, these guys were around the time, because I was really young, they were a little older than me, but they had tons of money, and then they were doing the plugs at the time. So they destroyed the donor. They were only able to move a certain amount of grafts up there, and then eventually they lost all the hair in between because they didn't have medicine, so they had to put a wig on their heads, all of those guys. That's something we no longer have to worry about anymore. It just is a levels thing, right? It's like, could you be a Bobby D? Could you be that lucky or that smart? Or are you going to end up like Steve Michaels.
Steve Michaels. You're still doing good, Steve Michaels.
I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
So the point is, let's say average, probably 6,500 grafts. You know, and then you're going to see out there on TikTok, and you're going to see out there on Instagram, and you're going to see out there from these foreign places, oh, I got 6,000 grafts in one procedure. I mean, that's all nonsense. It's nonsense, nonsense, nonsense. And you'll find out why as you continue to watch all of these videos. Bobby D's videos are defeating hair loss. So anyway.
Awesome. See, I appreciate Steve Michaels for dropping some hair knowledge on us as always.
My pleasure.
And everyone, you know, I'm sure check out Steve's channel, Defeating Hair Loss. We want more great hair content. That's where it's at, and I'm there too. So check him out. And we also got Nizoral here. That's what me and Steve use. So I can drop the link there in the description box below. And as always, be sure to like, subscribe to my channel, and we will see you next time.